All right. Been busy the last couple days, but we're not going to do the the business one. This is going to be working events part three. So we covered socks, we covered footwear, we covered, especially if you're older and you need to eat so often or whatever, bring snacks. A lot of these places let you bring a bag. A lot of it depends on where you are. I mean, so the bag may not be next to you, it might be a few feet away. Like if you're working a gate or if you're working at a gate, so to speak. Um, Bring your water, you know, shoes. Obviously, we just said that. So when you're getting posted, when you get there, like I said, you want to try to get there at least a day early so you can see what's going on. When you get there, try to find out where you're working, and try to remember the people's names who are telling you things. You'll probably get told 10 different things from 10 different people, but try to remember. Always bring a notepad to write stuff down, especially if they're giving you instructions on how to work a gate, or if they're giving you instructions to, if you're in a VIP area or something. There's certain bands that can come in, wristbands or certain, like the tassels that people wear. There might be certain colors, or have to have a certain number on it or whatever. Make sure you write that down. Cell phones are great because you can take pictures of the instructions, and I even recommend. A lot of places will have a map of the event area where everything is. If you could take one with you, but also take a picture, because you may end up giving that map out to somebody, or you might lose it or something, and you still want to have it on your picture. Also, try to get cell phone numbers from your supervisors, the owner if he's there. I guess that I would ask him too. I mean, I would. So once you get the location, you got to remember you're probably going to be there. There's very few festival spots that are 8 hours. Not saying that they aren't, but there is a few. But usually it's 10 or 12 hours, so that means you're going to be there, unless they shuffle you around, and sometimes that happens too. They'll be there for an hour, and then if, like, say, another gate, they have to have 10 at 10 o'clock, and then say at noon they might have to have 20. So sometimes they'll pull from the line. They're extending the line. It's like that's why I say, like, 18th century, like the Napoleonic, um, large body movements, um, from that era. It really, it goes side to side with what we do here. So a lot of them, like I said, they'll extend their line. You got to watch your numbers, which that's not your concern because you're just working there. But it's all about time, filling time gaps with numbers. So try to figure out what it is you're going to do. If you're, more than likely, you might be on the outskirts, where people are walking in. Also, you want to ask where the bathroom is. You don't want to be looking for the bathroom when you have to go to the bathroom. You want to know where it is. These will help you. If you're a smoker, don't don't smoke it. Do your best not to smoke. I'm a smoker. You know what I mean. So I'll go hide somewhere and smoke, or smoke on my break. You don't want to do it around anyone. Even with same thing with the vapes. I don't know what's going on with my eyebrow. It's itching. Same thing with the vapes. You don't want to be talking to someone while you're hitting on your vape. That's kind of, it's just rude. You don't want to do that. Like I said, bring snacks, because you got to remember. I mean, they'll bring you food. A lot of these places, they'll want you to eat on the line. It's another thing, Napoleonic, but they'll want you to eat on the line. So they'll start delivering food at certain time, or waters at certain time. If you have your own to a little bit, then it's not really a concern to you. But if you're older, and it's going to be a minute, even if they start at noon and they run that whole line feeding people, depending on where you are in the line, it may affect that. Like, for instance, I was working, I think at Redbud. It was like the motorcycle, the race of nations a few years ago. and it was like three companies working there, so we're all blended together, and you got one of ours and one of theirs, and I've always been told, and I've always treated them as one of ours. You know what I mean? If I'm going to feed ours, I'm going to feed theirs. Or if I'm going to give ours water, I'm most certainly going to give theirs water. So anyway, we're feeding these people. Now, mind you, these guards are at a VIP tent, and one of the good ones too. And it was a crappy year that year, and it was freaking freezing because it was in October and it was rainy. But anyway, I mean, they actually had under a canopy, where they can go inside. They were eating prime rib, and literally she comes walking out, just getting done eating the prime rib, and I'm giving our guy a sub. I was like, that's the last one. We're going to turn around, but we have to go all the way back to the compound to get more subs. So we'll hit you on the way back. Sooner did we had to turn around to come back. We got a call from dispatch that, that lady's already called them and complaining because we didn't give her food. And I can't remember. It was like she said something like we told them it wasn't our responsibility or whatever it was. Don't be that person. Be truthful out there. Don't talk people because you feel you were slated. There's so many people that get so petty and emotional because they think they got jaded or whatever you want to call it. It would have took 20 minutes to come back, and we were done it the same if it was all our people there. But again, she literally just came walking out from eating prime rib, literally. You know what I mean? She was still eating part of the garlic bread when she came out. So I didn't think, and I even offered her the sub, and our guy would wait. But don't be that person. Don't overestimate your importance. You're going to get fed. Try to be cooperative. And that's the biggest thing, especially those positions. I'll be honest, they're not the greatest. You're going to be out there in elements. If you don't, if you're out in the middle of a field in a parking lot, you're there. If there's weather coming, actually, if I would just bring an umbrella, but a lot of times, especially in the last few years, they'll put canopies up, and you got to remember talking to these people, don't come off rude. Don't come just because you're having a bad day. You gotta remember, especially depending on the festival or the event, some of these people might have waited years to come here, or there. They might have, saved up, for years to do it, or, it's a big vacation, or like the Motocross Nations only come around every once in a while. So it's a super big deal, and you just got to remember try to be. I actually even try to be, poppy, hey, even though that's totally not me. But you just got to remember that when you're dealing with people, try to be as helpful as possible, knowledgeable as possible, resourceful as possible. Doing all that will ensure that you have a decent first day, because what happens the first day affects the whole week. If you're there for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 2 days, whatever the case is, that first day. So that sunburn on that first day, bring suntan lotion, especially if you're out in the middle of a field, or if you're at a gate, or even if you're in front of the stage. They especially the big festivals, they fill those lines early. So you're going to be sitting there for hours. So know where the bathroom is. Know where to cover. Bring ponchos. You can buy ponchos for $1.25, or buy 5 or 6 of them. You never know when you're going to need them. And like I said, most places will let you carry a little bag, or something. Stay off your cell phone. It's again the same thing like smoking. Don't be doing it in front of people if you have to do it. We all take pictures, but again, try to be doing it because you got to remember, someone's always watching you. No matter what you do at these places, somebody sees you. It just and being you're going to be in uniform, and they're going to know you are, and just how this day and age is. If you do the slightest thing that even looks wrong, probably somebody's going to say something. Especially when you have a mixture, of personalities. Security people are a different personality than production people. Who's a different personality is the directors, and it's it's a big deal to a lot of people. So you really want to put that big deal face forward, and like I said before, if you always look like you're doing something, or if you look like you're going somewhere, no one's never going to have the opportunity to say that you weren't doing anything. So I think that's going to be it for part 3, and we'll talk a little more about some of the other positions in part 4. Like I said, what happens that first day is going to affect. If you get rained on, you're going to be in those clothes all day. Some companies, may be big enough to replace that wet shirt. At least have a spare T-shirt or something with you, to change that, and then the spare socks. I take them out. Not only if I'm at the hotel or campground or in my car or wherever it is. When I go work a position, or if I'm out there, I got an extra pair of socks. And I might even have an extra pair of shoes with me. It's everything you can do to make your life easier is going to make your life easier at these things. So, all right, we'll see you next time.